Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Oh, Stanley's in the background. Okay, I
Yeah.
see it. This is hilarious. Okay. That's great. And I should definitely. I'm over here thinking like, man, I really should save a background like this so I can do the same thing because it's just classic.
Yeah, I use it when we have to do our Zoom classes. I've always got some kind of weird background.
That's true. It always helps keep people interested. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And so, how we normally start this off is, can I get your name and spelling?
Sure. CJ Grisham, Grisham.
Okay, got it. And you're a grad student, but are you a Killeen resident as well too?
I'm a Temple resident.
You're a Temple resident. Okay, got it. All right, cool. And tell me a little bit about the Marvin guy situation, kind of a little bit how you got involved with this.
Well, I got involved, way back, probably shortly after it happened. I remember one of the first stories I read back in 2013, I believe it was, where he, after the arrest happened, and that same year I had an interaction with law enforcement and became a gun rights activist. And so when I heard what happened to Marvin and the fact that, one, he was just defending his home against what was a no-knock raid and ended up killing a police officer. Initially it's just one of those, okay, well, they were doing a raid. It was like, he probably should have known he was going to get raided if he was doing something wrong. But what ended up happening was, as more information came out, they didn't find anything in the warrant they were looking for, so they obviously had the wrong guy. Come to find out that Marvin had, as soon as he realized they were police officers, he didn't just continue to engage in the fight. He threw his gun down and got on the ground and surrendered. And it occurred to me that this was not a guy who was intent on murdering cops. It was a guy who was just trying to defend his home. And as the years went on, it got more and more bad because we still haven't had a day in court where Marvin has been able to plead his case or even have his bail reduced. Every time a cop gets thrown in jail, they bend over backwards, no matter what the charge is, to reduce his bail to get out. Marvin's not going anywhere. He's never been a flight risk, and yet they're artificially keeping his bail way too high.
Yeah, and you think that that the system has kind of done some things just to kind of keep him in there and just keep pushing this trial date out?
It's always been, I think it's 50-50. I know part of the problem has been Marvin's defense teams and his dissatisfaction with his defense. That's been part of the delay, but it's also been the state. The state has also had a lot to do with it. And then, of course, they've got another excuse in the last year of COVID. But again, that's just an excuse. When you're talking about a case that's coming on 8 years now, there's absolutely no reason that this man has not had his day in court. The judge could have stopped this a long time ago. He could have ordered the prosecutors to release the evidence that they should have released a long time ago, and we could have had something. We could have had pre-trials that set a scheduled date way before COVID ever happened.
Yeah, and with that legal defense and whatnot, are you? I heard from Patrick Warren that he was telling me that part of the reason why you're pursuing a graduate degree is because of Marvin.
Yeah, Marvin's case and several others. Like I said, I've been falsely arrested 3 times. I've had to deal with the justice system, especially in Bell County. I think the Bell County justice system, in my opinion, is quite corrupt. It leans more towards protecting the police than protecting justice. And I've had enough. And I decided I'm going to go to law school, and I'm getting ready to start my 3rd year of law school here in just a few months.
Yeah. And hearing today, I know that there's some new defense attorneys that are going to be representing Marvin. Does that kind of give hope for, that maybe this thing is going to move forward?
It does, and I think these are great attorneys with the Innocence Project. I've got a lot of respect for the Innocence Project. It's thanks to them that I've actually changed my opinion on capital murder from being a supporter of capital murder to being absolutely opposed to it over the last 10 years, I think is when I changed that. So I think he's got a great defense team now, and I hope that Marvin recognizes that, because as good of a guy as I think Marvin is, he can be kind of difficult to work with, but that shouldn't matter in seeking justice.
Yeah. And, you mentioned that they had some difficulties with some defense teams. What do you think Marvin hasn't been able to work with some of those defense teams, or some of the defense teams just haven't worked out with this?
Again, I think part of it has to do with the prosecution. And I have seen firsthand where the prosecution creates these very difficult and unreasonable plea deals or demands on defense attorneys. And there are a lot of defense attorneys that would prefer to just take a plea deal as opposed to fight the case. And this is going to be a difficult case for the defense team, but that's part of the problem. Marvin knows that he's innocent. I think anybody that objectively looks at this case and all the evidence that we've heard and seen, obviously we haven't seen everything, but from everything I've heard and seen, Marvin is innocent of this. And I just don't think he's been able to find attorneys that are willing to go to bat and be as aggressive and defensive as they need to be.
And also, I think I misspoke. So I think it's 7 years because it happened in 2014.
Oh, 14. Okay, yeah. So it's a year after.
Yeah. So it's 7 years. I jumped a year ahead of time. Sorry about that.
No, I was thinking 2013 also because I seem to remember it happening the same year I got arrested, but it was actually that following year. That's correct.
Yeah.
Because I was already a gun rights activist when it happened, and that's why I got involved.
Okay, got it. And you said you were already falsely arrested 3 times.
Yeah, by that time I was falsely arrested twice. I got arrested twice in 2013. The most recent was in November of 2013, and so it was like 6 months prior to that. But at that time, it took a year for me to get those charges dismissed, and so I was still under that second arrest, waiting on a trial or waiting for charges to get dismissed when the incident in Killeen happened.
Okay, got it. And all your trials are dismissed right now.
Correct. And my third arrest, which happened in 2018, we're currently suing the Olmos Park Police Department over that arrest.
Okay, cool. Got it. All right. Well, this definitely gives me a lot to help for my story tonight. I'm still trying to work to get in touch with the family, so hopefully we can get in touch with them and whatnot. But thank you for all your help.
And I think it's important that everybody understand the importance of this issue. If this can happen, if these no-knock raids, somebody is dead right now. It doesn't matter who did it, but somebody is dead because instead of doing the right thing and just getting Marvin or knocking on the door or getting him while he's walking to and from his apartment, they decided they were going to break into his home and attack him in the middle of early morning. And if it can happen to Marvin, it can happen to anybody. And that's what scares me, is an officer is dead not because of Marvin. An officer is dead because of no-knock raids.
Yeah, that is true. Well, thank you. I really once again appreciate you. And anything else you want to say?
No, that's it, Drill. I appreciate it. I thank you for covering this story because it really needs to be at the forefront of Central Texas mind, and they need to understand that this is a travesty of justice, and we've got to fix it.
Yeah. No, about every story I've done, because I've done a couple stories about Michael Dean, no-knock warrants. Everyone has mentioned Marvin Guy, and so I think that it's definitely something that the community cares about and something that needs to be heard.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Oh yeah, no problem. You have a good